And we're live. Good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you may be, and welcome to another scene in Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York. The scene is set Umbra side, where, for his part, Snowflake has spent most of the afternoon and the day just wandering around, sometimes stepping sideways, sometimes stepping back to the Umbra. And actually, he wouldn't be in Hamid, because he can afford being in Lupus. So he's gonna be in Lupus. Uh, yeah, so he's just prowling around in his wolf form in the Umbra, thinking.
Okay. Robin is in the Umbra because she is still trying to familiarize herself with the Umbra. Um, and is at probably at the heart of the cairn. And is just lying on the grass, enjoying that it finally gets warmer again.
Snowflake's gonna make his way through the heart of the cairn because why not? He's just been walking around in circles for hours by now. And at some point, he stops, takes a deep breath, a deep breath of air through his nose, and he smells Silverfang. And he decides to move closer. And I don't know how tall the grass is in the heart of the cairn.
I don't think it's that tall. I can imagine it's just sort of a open spot. I mean, it's still Central Park, so
Yeah, so yeah, he probably sees Robin a reasonable distance away and decides that let's have some fun. Let's. He's a ragabash. He needs his fun. He's been sulking all day. Let's make this fun. So he's gonna sneak up on her.
yeah, sure.
It might not that awesome dice roll. With two successes.
Yeah. Um,
Actually, shouldn't I have? Actually, I'm in lupus now. I should have added something probably.
yeah, your dex goes up by 2, I believe, in Lupus.
Let me double check. Yep. So I'm just gonna roll two more dice, which don't modify it at all.
Eh, yeah, well, I mean, Robin, for her part, is, yeah, lying on the grass on her back, arms kind of outstretched, and is, like, her face up towards the sky, eyes closed. So, yeah, I'll roll to detect, but probably at a bit higher div. Roll at div 7. 2 successes, you win.
Yeah. So very stealthily and very um like a little ninja, silent like a snowflake that barely touches the ground. He approaches Robin and just lays down on his belly with his snout close to her ear. And after probably a couple of seconds, when He notices she didn't realize he was there. He's just gonna say in high tongue, not like yell or something, but just like with his normal voice, say, "You're supposed to sit the other way around if you want to hug the earth."
I'll make a willpower roll to see if she can, like, not yell, jump up, and try and smack him. Yeah, she has one success. So she definitely jolts, but like you can even see her hand kind of, going into a fist and making that I'm about to attack whoever's attacking me movement. But she stops.
Does she like stand up or something?
No, no, no. Probably just rolls over and be like, whatever.
Yeah, Snowflake's just gonna like bounce a little backwards. See what I did there? Yeah, he's gonna take a few, like, jump a little backwards, just not be hit in the face.
Yeah, she doesn't actually like lashes out. She just kind of like, and then and kind of stops and blinks at him, little sheepishly almost, and finally, when she fully realizes it's Snowflake, rolls her eyes. Really? Don't scare me like that.
Okay, noted. Do you want me to forward your message to every other worm creature that hangs around the city, just so you're safe?
Every other worm creature? As far as I know, you're not a worm creature.
Hmm, depends on who you're asking.
Well, if you were a worm creature, you would not have been left let on sept. So even if they say that, they really know it's not true, because else you would be murdered. You would not be on any kind of sept. And what I've learned from tribes so far, none of them are that cruel per se. If they let you live, then yeah, But then again, that's what I've heard. That's not my personal experience.
You got the point. I was trying to make a joke. You're overthinking stuff again.
Right. And she sits up and kind of rubs her eyes. Seems like, she was not necessarily asleep, but definitely not fully awake at the moment he jumped her.
He looks up at her and says, "Am I interrupting something?"
No, I was just I was thinking.
You and me both.
Oh, well, I hope you had more luck than I had. Or better thoughts. I don't know.
He just like lowers his head and like moves it to one side. Says, "No."
Well, I'm sorry then.
After after training, after lunch, after everything, I decided to take a stroll. So I strolled on this side, and I strolled on the other side. And I strolled on four legs, and I strolled on two legs, and I strolled in breed, and I strolled out of breed. Didn't help.
Okay. So, what's on your mind?
He looks up at you and says, either you shift or I shift because this is starting to hurt my neck.
She she'll actually, lower herself down again and goes to lie on her belly this time and plants her hands like underneath her chin, kind of like boring her elbows into the grass so that, yeah, she's like on his level. She says, if you sit up, you're about as tall as I am, so that wasn't really an issue there.
Still not a fan of changing your shape, are you?
And she shrugs. So, what was on your mind?
Been thinking on the rides we've got lately. And about what Fatima told the then mother.
Okay, what specifically?
About going to the ride master and asking for a challenge.
Feel you're ready then?
That's the big problem. I don't know.
I mean, blessed are those who ever know everything for sure. But also in a way cursed, because they can never learn. So, why are you not sure?
He just lies on his belly. And well, you have it easy for you. It's pretty much straightforward. You smell like a silver fang. You're. She stops for a second. Jacob Ra has a silver fang. There's gonna be a silver fang.
I mean, you say that, and it's probably true, but I'm not sure, like, I'm keeping my options open as well. I want to learn about the other tribes. First of all, if I do become a Silverfang, it comes really handy to know about the other tribes so we can lead them in a way that they also feel respected. Because I feel that is somewhat of the problem with the Silverfangs in the nation, is that they've lost the respect of the other tribes, and usually you lose someone's respect by not acting in a manner that they consider respectful. So if I can learn about the different tribes, first of all, if I find something that I like, a tribe that I prefer to be with, I can challenge for that. And secondly, if I do become a Silverfang, I will know more about the people I'm supposed to lead.
Don't fall in the same trap that most of the fangs do, and forget about the runt of the litter.
The Bonars? I
Cocks
said
his head at you.
I said I want to learn about all tribes. I really think in a sept like this one, It is hard to forget about the Bonars, even if I'd wanted to. Which I don't, by the way.
I meant the Metis, but I like where you're going with this.
Well, almost the same story. I mean, you forget I'm not raised as a Garu. I'm raised as a human, the New Yorker. And
Is that good or bad?
when it comes to the way I think about Metis, I guess it's good. I understand there are some issues, but I would not see why I would not see a Metis as a, well, bluntly said, human being.
Cox said the other way.
I mean, Garu being sounds kind of weird, right? As far as I'm concerned, it's actions that prove who or what we are, not our personal history. Sure, personal history can lead to certain actions, but in the end, no matter how much personal history you have, no matter how much stuff you've gone through, or bad things that have happened to you, or bullies in your life, even if all of them point out to a step, to taking a step that's wrong, it's you in the present who can choose to step right.
He takes a few steps, stands up on all fours, and takes a few steps back. And you see him slowly shifting, going through the forms back to Hamid. And yeah, he just like ragdolls on the ground, like mirrors your position, like resting his head on his palms and elbows firmly planted in the ground.
She kind of looks at him, like, expectantly.
Says, uh, I don't know what being a New Yorker has to do with your attitude towards the Metis, but not gonna question this. I'm guessing you're used to being around weird people.
No, I more meant that, as far as I'm concerned, being a New Yorker means that we accept all people. Like, New York used to be the gateway to this continent, you know? Every ship that sailed from Europe, well, probably not everyone, but a lot of people, they came to New York. I think that attitude still kind of lingers in the city, at least where I grew up, it does.
They used to say that London's the most diverse city in the world, but yeah, okay.
That might very well be. I will not question that. I will not even deny that. I'm just speaking from how I feel what it means to be a New Yorker.
And well, I don't know what to do. Because for me, it's not that much about learning about the tribes. I pretty much know where to go. The problem is making a choice.
Mm.
The obvious choice was made for me. Can't join my mother's tribe.
I mean, If you feel you need to make a decision, there are a couple of ways you can go about this. But it's difficult.
Please don't say flip a coin.
Oh no. What juice is that? No.
Help some people decide.
Yeah, which is not based on any kind of facts or even feelings.
Takes away the
But
responsibility.
yeah, well, that has never done anyone good. You need to take responsibility for your own life. Having someone else decide for you is, well, you get used to it, and that makes it even harder to break free from it.
Yet we're all born in an auspice, in a breed, and you can change that.
I
I
mean,
can never be a Hamid in the same way you can never be a Metis.
true, but you can choose to wear your homage form, as I can choose to, well, I would say find the Krynos form, but I guess walking around in Krynos is a better way to describe it.
Still don't look like you. Haven't seen any human with white hair or red eyes.
True that. But no, there were two things that I was going to suggest. Either you go sit down and you write down or list everything that you think is important from this tribe, from why you want to join. Then you can, after you've done that, you have an overview, and you might be able to eliminate a choice simply on the answers you've given. Or just go with your guts. Or you can make a combination.
As
Put
brought,
everything on paper and then feel what feels right.
as brought up mostly by the children of rat, but also by the children of cockroach. I know their ways. I'm comfortable around them. I'm sure that once I prove myself, they could see me as one of their own. The problem is that I feel that choosing one is disrespecting the other.
Mm,
And whichever one I choose, it's not honoring to my parents, but I'm sorry for my father, but I'll never choose his tribe.
mm.
Not for what they done to him. What they did to him, actually.
I don't think any of the tribes would see it as an insult. After all, if that would be the case, every tribe would be as blah, blah, at each other's throats almost on a daily basis.
Yeah, but you said trust my gut. This is what my gut tells me.
Well, your gut tells you not to go with the tribe that your father belonged to. That is fair game. Then that means that you've eliminated that tribe. Pretty sure that there are a few other ones, so you said you had three left. Well, then go, like I said, go list all the rights and wrongs, literally put it to paper, and you can see that one list will most likely be longer than the others.
Sounds like a very Hamid thing to do.
Quite possibly, yes. It's a way to order your thoughts.
I just found walking through, walking among the trees usually helped, but this is a big decision.
I agree.
You can't switch tribes in the same way you can't switch breeds or auspices. So it's a pretty big decision. If you can't choose your auspice or your breed, you have some choice in the matter of your tribe.
Yep. Have you tried talking to whoever you would need to challenge? See how they feel about it. If you can't choose between these three, then you can always see what their attitude is towards you personally. Maybe one of these tribes is extremely happy to have you, more so than the others. Mm.
He like looks down and says, "Have you looked at me?" And he
So,
just like taps his nose and says, "Have you smelt me?"
yes, so,
Excluding this, my white hair, my red eyes, and my incredibly good looks. Can you tell me apart from the bonars?
you smell different than them. You smell the same as Apollo's aim. So, I smell the same as a Silverfang. And yeah, I would be honored to go that way, but I also want to keep my options open.
Even though I smell like a fury, the fury don't take men among their ranks. At least not that I've heard of.
Well, then your choice is simpler.
Not really.
Well, how do you plan to solve it then?
Don't know.
I gave you an option and you guys said it was too humid for you.
Then do the Garo thing. Don't give me an option. Give me a story.
Look, I can't just rip a story out of thin air.
Which actually gives me a good idea. How about as the Till Singer? Sure, not the first cub, not even the first Metis cub to have this problem.
You could try.
Didn't meet her till now, so might be a good time.
Yeah?
Have you written that story that you said about our fight and rescuing the werecat?
Not yet. It's halfway finished.
Didn't the den father say you had to do it fast?
I'm doing it as fast as I can.
How is the story too, you know?
I know. I just want to do it right. If I fuck up, I'm sure the then father wouldn't be very pleased. Nor the warder.
Reserve yourself the luxury of fucking up while you're still a cub.
I prefer to show them that I can be worthy as a cub. I don't need to fuck up if I do it right.
So Silverfang.
I can fuck up on other fronts. Like fighting. I'll fuck up at fighting.
Please don't fuck up at fighting.
I try very hard not to. At challenges then?
That's another story.
I know where my strengths lie at the moment. I know I'm not ready to move on. But on that thing, I can give you one advice. Don't try to grow up too fast. Sure, being a Cleoth is awesome, I guess. I don't know, never been one. But like you said, this is the time where we can still be without responsibilities, without. We can still fuck up. So I'd say if I would give you a word of advice, be a cub. Learn of the tribes that you want to join. Learn more of them, even if you think you already know them. Try to find, like the den mother said, try to find their failings. Try to see if you can live with those failings.
And there's the Galliard in you.
Robin shrugs. Perhaps.
Hey, try as you might, you can't escape from your auspice. I tried once, failed miserably.
I just try to be me. If that means that I'm a good Galliard, then yeah, I don't need to be anyone else. I just want to be myself, and I'll give you advice that I feel is right, even if it's sometimes
Let,
homemade.
let's leave it at being a Galliard. You need to work to be a good one.
Yeah,
Gives you a bit of his one of his typical sly smiles.
I know. That's why I'm not trying to become a Cleat just yet.
Yeah, but you're ignoring one key fact here.
Oh,
You've been you've realized you're a Garo for how long now? Couple of months.
yeah.
I know I've been told I'm a Garo since as far back as I can remember. You walked for the first time in your life into a sept a couple of months ago. I was born in one. You were considered a child, then a teenager, then a young woman. After that, a Garo. I was a cub from the day I was born, and even until this day. You had your first change probably a little before your cousin brought you on sept, right? I had my change a year ago. My first change.
Yeah.
You see the difference here?
I mean, I would say don't compare because, sure, you have been a cub longer than I am, and I have no doubt that your knowledge of the nation and of how to behave in it, your knowledge of spirits, auspices, everything regarding Garu life is way bigger than mine.
Spirits. Really?
Well, at least you've seen them probably longer than I have. I'm still trying to understand a trash spirit.
They're fun.
Sure.
I grew up among Bonos. We had a lot of theatres. Therefore, a
Well,
lot of trash spirits. Or rubber spirits, as they call them back home.
you get my point. When it comes to the Garu side, I think you outmatch me anytime. But there's more to being, I think, and I could be terribly wrong, but there's more to being a Kliath Garu than just knowing about Garu life. There's, first of all, a certain growth, I guess, that one needs to go through. Not that I'm saying that you haven't, by the way, but also, especially here, we live in a very human part of the world. And
Uh, London's not exactly in the middle of a forest either.
true, but you've been on Sept your entire life. And even if you've gone out, that may be what, a few times a year? I've lived a human life my entire life.
As far as I know, no one's gonna kick me off Sept once I turn into a clear SFK. I'm not gonna
No,
sleep with you
I'm
guys
not
in the
saying
Cubdens anymore, but I'm
I'm
still
not
going to be
saying that.
here.
You're not, yes, but you're not listening. The thing is, once you become a Kliath and you get responsibilities, there are certain things you need to understand. Certain way of behavior, a certain way of doing things in the city. And I will, I think it's safe to say that you may outmatch me in Garu lifestyle any time of the week. I am not afraid to admit that. You may win every challenge that you ever throw at me any day of the week because you simply understand the system better than I do. But when it comes to human life, which is when it comes to being grown up, you've had people tell your whole life exactly what you need to do. I've made my own decisions for, well, a couple of years now. I've dealt with human society, not just from looking at it, but being in it, working in that system.
You're
Now, I'm not
missing a key
saying,
point here.
yes,
Once we're both clears, you can go back and live back home and live as a human, but you're still gonna be Garo.
you really don't see what I'm trying to tell you here. It's not about me.
Just trying to explain that you can
No,
see the world through my eyes.
yeah, and I'm trying to explain that you can't see them through mine. Like I said, and I don't know. Again, this is just like that time before. I try to explain to you something. I admit that in some places you definitely outmatch you. I give you all that credit. But you can't even admit for one moment that in some things I might outmatch you. I might be better. That's just impossible for you, isn't it?
No, I cannot. I admit you are
No, you
better
don't.
at human things than I am, and you're always gonna be because you're Hamid born. At the end of the day, I don't have to be a human, but both of us have to be Garu. You see where I'm
You
going with this?
you're missing entirely what I'm trying to say. And you know what? Never mind. Take the advice that you could go with and just let it leave at this. Because this is frustrating. Talking to you is frustrating. You're you close your mind for anything new. And that might be why you are not ready to become a Kliat just yet. Feel open yourself up for advice that you don't want to hear, because often it's good. Because often it targets your blind spots. That's why your defense mechanisms kick in.
You see Snowflake like lowering his gaze and like sulking down on his, like he lets his arms down and like plants his forehead on his forearms.
Yeah, Robin is just sitting there, kind of, trying to calm herself down to not, fall into that rage trap. I'm gonna go for a swim.
See him raising his head, and maybe there's just a bit of a teardrop, like going down the side of his cheek. And he looks at you with like these big, reddish, pinkish eyes. Like you said, the weirdest thing out there. Pardon?
I'm gonna go for a swim.
You're going to go for a swim
Yes!
in the lake
Yes! Ah!
by yourself.
Yes?
Okay.
What? You expect me to summon my servants as a silver fang and wash me?
That was both in and out of character laughter. You're allowed servants as a cub?
Yeah, she's gonna stand up and she's not laughing. She looks down on him and it's like, I can take someone's advice when it works. So I'm going to take a swim, cool down.
She like sits up and it gives you a bit of a weird, overly exaggerated bow. It says, would you care for company, or does Her Majesty bathe in private? He's still like trying to control his laughter, trying to keep a straight face, but failing miserably.
Robin's eyes are shooting fire right now. You can't just ever act normally, can you? I
Would
remember
it
someone
kill
said
you to
learning to.
smile?
I remember someone saying that as a ragabash, the most important lesson that you have to learn is know when to stop. Now, I'll give you a hint. That moment was 5 minutes ago. Whether you follow me or not, I don't give a fuck. But I'm going now. Yeah, she just heads off to the lake.
And yeah, Snowflake's gonna try and chase her. Probably grab her hand.
I mean, she's not running. She's just
Okay,
pacing.
so you don't wanna you don't wanna roll for this, I'm guessing. See
I
if he
mean,
catches up or not.
if he wants to run after her, that's more than fine. Like I said, she's not running away from him. She's just pissed, and she knows that the longer she stays in this conversation, the longer she'll remain pissed. So she needs to find a way to control that anger. So yeah,
Yeah, so
she's like,
Snowflake's gonna run after her and probably grab her hand. This is Robin.
"What?" She snaps.
Look, okay, I'm just look straight down and just under his breath says, I'm sorry.
That was hard, right?
Maybe.
Like I said, there are two reasons why I would say maybe not become a Cleath just yet. It's knowing when to stop and learning to accept that advice cannot always be what you want it to be. There are no golden keys. Sometimes something sounds incredibly horrible, stupid, or something that goes against every fiber of your being, but that might just be a good advice, especially if you don't want to hear it. So, yeah, learning to admit that you can do something wrong, learning not to cross certain boundaries, knowing when to stop. I would suggest to look into that before you become a Cleath. Because right now you can still get away with it because you're a cup. Remember, cups can make mistakes. If you're a Cleath, well, I don't have to explain to you how the nation works.
And you seem to be doing a very good job of telling me what the Cleath is supposed to do, especially what the Cleath Ragabash is supposed to do. So why stop now? You
I'm
see
not telling you that
his
at all.
face going a bit more serious.
I'm not telling you that at all. I have no clue what the extent of the duties of a Cleath Ragabash are. I am not a Ragabash. Sure, I know that you guys need to do this at some point. But you never stop doing this. I'm just saying, if you want to help others, you have to know where to help yourself first. As far as I've understood the Ragabash, it's all about helping others, one way or another, in their own peculiar way, other than a theurge giving advice or other than a galliard teaching people lessons. You teach them through pranks, through snide remarks, and that kind of stuff. That's what I've understood. Besides, of course, the scouting and the assassination thing.
And he cocks his head at you and says, well, you were going swimming, weren't you?
Well, you plan to drown me when I'm underwater?
He grabs his temples and goes, okay, okay, who told you?
Yeah, little birdie.
Little Robin?
All I'm saying is look at yourself. and look at the things that you still feel you need to improve. Or look at the things that maybe others feel you still need to improve. I'm not saying that you should take everything I'm telling you. Definitely not. But I would advise listening to it and thinking about it. Ask others where you can still improve. What might still be helping? What would make you a Cleath? Specifically you. Not just any Cleath Ragabash, not just any Metis, not even any Metis Cleath Ragabash. You. Because I think you need to learn several things.
Other people seem to enjoy my jokes.
I'm not talking about your jokes. Things like asking permission every time you set a foot in a direction that might not be agreeable with everyone. If you want to be a Cleath or even later a Fostern, you need to trust your own judgment. And if you're wrong, accept the consequences of that. One of the things that I think is something that I already learned, because yeah, I already went through those steps. I stopped asking my parents for permission, started to do things on my own, decided to go to university that's not even in the same city as my parents live in, where I really had to solve things on my own.
It's not the
That
same
didn't mean
thing.
it's not the same thing, but it's part of taking responsibility for yourself, your actions, for your decisions. You're afraid of making decisions on your own, which is something you'll have to do,
He just
even
like
as a
shakes his
Metis,
head.
even as a
No,
Ragabash. At some point, you will need to make decisions. If
no.
only it is on who you decide to be a leader. You make those decisions. So I know you don't want me as a leader. That's why you chose Garm. Not because you think Garm is specifically capable, but simply because you figured that I would be too arrogant. But it is a choice you make.
Well, to be fair, he also is the better fighter.
That does not necessarily mean the better leader. And I'm not saying I'm better than Garm. I don't care. I'm not looking to be someone's quote unquote boss. I'm not looking to be. I just want to solve things. I want to fix things. And yes, I want to be a Silverfang, and I know that they are leaders of the nation. That's because I can see myself in a position like that someday. It doesn't mean right now. For right now, Garm is the better option for all of us. And it's Garm. I have no issues with that. But at some point, even if that point comes a couple of years from now, I will lead. Because I feel I know that I can do that.
You could
I know.
one day. You should.
I will. There's no could, there's no should. I know I will. whether I'll be a Silverfang or not. Doesn't have anything to do with the tribe, not for me. Perhaps those of Silverfang tribe who have been born in the nation, they might see it as such. I don't. It's not my privilege. It's not something I was born with, born into. It's something that I know I can do, and I know I will do.
Something that you need to learn first.
Hmm, says you, because you refuse to listen to me. I don't know why that is. But that's.
Because you give me human solutions to
I
Garu problems.
am, first and foremost, most of my life, up till now, I have been a human. So, of course, I come with human solutions. That's not necessarily wrong. Ask a glasswalker.
I'm saying it's wrong.
Yeah. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. That is fine. Like I said before, I'm not telling you that you should follow up all my advices. You need to pick that you feel you can do something with. But in all honesty, you dismiss something because you consider it to be too homid or too human, even. And that, I think, is keeping your eyes willfully shut. We are sure we are a Garu, and sure we have to solve things Garu ways. But looking at a problem creatively, and perhaps coming up with a solution, I don't see anything wrong with that. We're still half human. Well, 1/3 human. So a human solution is not that weird. Would be weird if I would come up with a horse's solution.
Yeah, it might be a stretch.
Exactly. Coming up with something that is ultimately something based in human, based as a human solution, doesn't mean it's bad for Guru. Just means it's something that Guru maybe not have done quite that often. If I can come up with ways that my human life, what I've learned as a human, can help the nation, and that's fine with me. I'll take anything that will give me an edge, human or not.
It's not gonna give you an edge if you lose your temper so easily.
Well, like you said, I have been dealing with this for, well, about 2 months, give or take a day, I believe.
Looks at you and points towards the lake. Still going to the lake?
Oh, yeah.
Mm. Yeah, he's gonna walk with her in that direction.
Yeah.
And says, there's something that intrigues me about you.
What?
Have no problem showing your fangs when I'm around and acting like a silver fang. Yet when I said that Garm should lead that mission, you did not defend yourself.
No? Because I
I know.
didn't care.
You should.
No. Like I said, I know I will lead someday. Be it a pack, be it a certain position on the Sept. Be it, I don't know, household, pfft, for all I care. I know I will use my talents to do something good, but I had no problem. Why would I go into a discussion while the three of us need to work together? There's no point in bringing up that argument right before a mission. Absolutely no point in it.
If you want to lead, then lead. The sooner you start, the more experience you get.
Well, sometimes you get experience from watching other people do it. See what parts of their leadership you can take along. See which parts you can't. What use would it have been? If I, honestly, if I would have led that mission, Garm would have been okay with it. Pretty sure. You would fight every decision I make. So, not alone would we have had a big arguments beforehand, which might even have one of your great challenges in there, which only means that I will make a fool out of myself again, which I'm perfectly fine to do if it makes you happy. I don't see the point in it, especially not right before a mission. It would strain the relationship between the three of us. Well, we did not need strain at that moment. Going out into the world with just the three of us without any supervision, we didn't need any challenges at that point. We needed unity. We needed to be able to work together. And
You know, leading a pack or holding on to a position. I don't know how it is for humans, and frankly, I don't care. You're gonna be challenged each and every step.
yeah,
I wouldn't if you are skilled in fighting, you could have wiped the floor with me on
yes,
both times.
I know, and I know I'm not. I wasn't
I
born
don't
into this life.
I don't question you for the sake of questioning you. And I don't argue for the sake of argument. I wanted to see if you had the guts to make a claim and lead that mission.
It had nothing to do with guts. It simply wasn't worth it. Pick your battles. There was no point at that moment. Like I said, strain on the group would be too big. Strain on the mission would have been big.
And you feel that it's right that between a Rakabash, a Calyard, and a Theurge, that the Theurge should lead.
I feel that it's right between three people that if two people are of agreement in something and we want to keep harmony, that the third one at that point just doesn't fight it. I mean, did I agree with it? I knew I knew there would be a lot of talking involved. I knew I was the one who was most likely most capable of doing those talks, as I've proven. In the end,
That you have.
Garm was the leader, sure, but I think all three of us know who made the difference there. You don't need to be named the leader to lead. I would not have changed one action if I had been the alpha of this mission.
I'm presuming at this point they arrive at the lake.
hmm Yeah, Robin will kind of start taking off her shoes again.
Hmm. Yeah, Snowflake is She's gonna slump on the ground, cross-legged.
And after taking off her shoes and socks, and probably her jacket, Robin will, yeah, walk into the lake, shiver, because, God, that water is still fucking cold, and starts, yeah, swimming. Not just a leisurely, happily swimming around in the lake, but the, yeah, kind of like straightforward line that she did the previous time.
And your Snowflake's gonna. Actually, we're still on side, right?
Yeah, there's water spirits there, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. You're the X here. You tell me what's around the lake. Uh,
Well, there's most definitely water spirits. Other than that, just sept spirits, so probably a few clay children, probably some air stuff, tree spirits. Oh, that's clay children, sorry. Probably some doves.
yeah. So Snowflake's just gonna call out to her and say, "You're gonna drown with that much cloth on you."
I really don't think that she's hearing you because she's doing that crawl thing again, which means most of the time your ears are below the water. So yeah.
Hey, he just said it, so it's said.
Mm,
It's your call.
yeah, I can roll stamina, but I'm not gonna go through the entire thing of rolling dex athletics and then stamina again and blah blah blah. So I'll just roll one stamina roll to see if she's good.
Come on, do it properly. Because if you botch, he's
You
gonna
really
save you.
just want me to fail or botch? Yeah, no,
Fair enough. Just joking here.
I know.
It would be fun to have the fucking meta save you, but yeah.
Oh, trust me, I've already gone through these hoops. Yeah, I guess we can end the scene there.
Uh,
Or is there
I
still
had
stuff you want to do?
something in mind.
Okay, no, sure. Then, yeah, Robin, probably after like 10 minutes or so, gets back.
And
And, oh, sorry, yeah, sorry.
she finds Snowflake, uh, hands under his head, on his back, eyes closed, probably dozing off. And with the whole noise of her getting out of the water and probably dripping water everywhere, he's just gonna open his, like, crack open his eyes, feeling better.
Surprised you're still here.
It's a free sept.
I didn't say that I was gonna kick your ass or something. I'm just surprised.
Didn't want you to. Didn't want anything to happen to you. Okay?
She raises an eyebrow. What? Pretty sure nothing weird would have happened in a lake. Although these water spirits are kind of, I don't know, kept tugging my clothes, it kept tugging my toes and my hair.
You know you can drown on this side too.
It's a lake, it's not the ocean or a river. I know how to swim, I'm fine.
Excuse me for wanting to make sure you're okay.
I said thank you.
Your kind of thank yous.
Really want me to go back in the lake again, huh?
No, why? Unless you want to, then
No.
He sits like sits up, looks at Robin, who's probably still dripping wet,
Oh yeah.
and says, "Swear to God, I don't get you. You get mad when you shouldn't. You're silent when you shouldn't. You want to lead and you boss me around, no problem. But when you're supposed to lead, you just sit silently in the back."
Look, I gave you my explanations. I can give them again, but that's pointless.
Just because you explain something to me doesn't mean I understand.
Well, I can't explain it any differently,
Okay, maybe
so
I'm
you'll
too
just have to
stupid to
take it.
understand you.
No, maybe you just need someone else helping you explain or understand what I'm saying. Like I need you, because I don't get half of the things that you do.
Wait. You need me.
What?
The- Okay, I'm just gonna, because I probably got this wrong out of character, and I'm just gonna play it out in character too. So, did you say you need me, or did I hear that wrong?
Pretty sure you heard that wrong.
Yeah, fair
I
enough.
said
Yeah, it sounded too
you
good.
maybe need someone else to interpret my words in a way that you can understand me. And I probably need someone else to help me understand what you mean half of the time. Because I don't know if you noticed, but our conversations seem to end up talking in circles, back and forth, saying exactly the same thing over and over again. I'm so done with that.
If you'd give me different answers, I wouldn't ask the same questions all over again.
It's not just me. Why is it always just me in your book? Just stop that.
You're getting mad again. Every
Yes,
every time I try to tell you anything, you get mad.
because you always put the blame on me. It's always me that is stupid, that does something wrong, that doesn't listen to you. And I'm trying to explain you time and time again that maybe it is the two of us. But that part just doesn't get in. I'm not trying to say it's all your fault. Well, you're constantly doing that to me. And I'm giving you credit where it's due, where you can't even give me one single word of appreciation. Nothing.
Gave you
And then
credit. Okay?
still,
Okay, do you want me to do you
no,
want
shut
me
up. Then still, I am the person that does it all wrong, that is the bad guy, that can't lead, that can't do anything right in your book. And I'm so tired of that. Why am I not going to argue you in public anymore? Because I don't even want to argue with you like this. Because it's driving me insane. And perhaps someone else can explain this, both to you and to me. Because I'm really, really not in the mood anymore.
Fair enough. Did it make you feel better for me to start howling around the sept? How you single-handedly managed to dispatch that
No,
huge worm creature?
I don't need that. I didn't ask you to do that. I'm not asking you to boast my things around. Because if I want that boasted around, I'm the Galliard. I can do that myself.
You're sure taking your time?
I don't feel the need to do that. I know what I've done. That's enough.
You're supposed to pass on stories, not keep them for yourself. For yourself. That's how
I
this
will
works.
pass on the story, but there's a difference between telling everyone the story of how epic I was, or just tell the story as it was and give everyone their credit.
And make sure to remind people how the metas didn't let you shine.
You just don't get it. I'm not telling you that I want you to tell everyone how great I am. I'm not telling you that. But there's a difference. There's a difference between letting the entire SEP know or just sometimes say, hey, I appreciated this, or thank you for that, or even, because I don't even need that, but maybe from time to time admit that it's not always me who does it wrong. Because that's not fair. That's simply not fair. Because I'm not always doing it wrong. I may be doing things differently than you, but you continuously try to make me feel bad about myself. I knew you didn't want me to lead, so I chose not to argue that feeling, even though I thought I was more suited for that mission.
Then why didn't you argue?
Because it would lead into this again and again and again. And I'm done with it. And I'm done with it upsetting me. I'm trying not to give into all this anger inside of me. And you continuously bring it out. And I did not need that. For the first time, we were doing something on our own. We had the chance to see how good everybody was. All three of us, as a team. I was not gonna fuck that up by deciding to throw a hissy fit because I was the one not leading it. I decided to let that go so that we could all show to the Denfather, to the Warder, that we're doing something good, that we are good to be adults, that we're ready for this shit.
Maybe you and Garm did something. I did nothing.
Bull shit. In the end, we found out what we did what we did, the way we did it, which was a success because all three of us were there. Yeah?
Big difference I made.
You don't know that. Sure, maybe you didn't kill the worm creature. But without you present, maybe the situation had been run completely differently. Like we at least sneaked up to him. I would not have done that. If that would have been Garm and me, we would have stormed at it. If that would have been me alone, I would have called it out. You mattered. You were there. That changed things. We did this as a team. This was a team effort.
No, maybe you're right. Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe I argue for argument's sake. Maybe that's everything I know how to. That's it, the only thing I've been taught to do. Okay, that's what I see when I see something that doesn't sound right, that doesn't seem right. I challenge. Okay, I argue. It's not about blowing fists at each other every time. It's not about shouting at each other every time. It's about arguing to see how sure people are of what they say and what they do. And you try to make this personal and shut me down just because you think I argue with you just for argument's sake. I saw
I am,
you lose your temper,
yeah,
and I told you go and swim in the river. It helped. You did this again.
yes.
And what makes you think that my other advice doesn't have the same effect? That it
What
doesn't have
other
this
advice?
the fact that you should defend your stance and your right to lead as a galliard, as a goddamn silverfang.
Because, as I said, there is a time and place for an argument. And that was not the time and place. Not the way I see it. And that is my stance, and I will defend that.
Whatever. This is not for me to judge. I'm not the philodox. If it makes you feel any better, fine. You're right. I'm not gonna challenge you anymore. Do whatever you feel you need to, and however you feel you need to do.
Stop playing the victim. It doesn't suit you. You are a ragabash. As a ragabash, you judge in a
Philodox
different
is
way than a
judge.
philodox. Well, we all judge. Everyone judges. And a rune judges the situation on the battlefield and that decides on a course. A galliard judges which story to tell and how to tell it. A philodox, yeah, literally judges the litany and the interpretation of it. A theurge, a theurge judges what price they pay or what counsel to give. They judge the others to see how far they can go. It's a ragabash. It's your task to judge the situation, to look at the situation and see how you can either diffuse it or blow it up. I'm just saying maybe you just need to look into that diffuse part. Because the blowing up, I think you're pretty good at that.
There's a bit of a smile on his face. He says, "That's your chosen way of defending an argument. Losing your temper at the metis just because just because you're not like me."
Yeah. Yeah, please say that I'm doing this on purpose, that I'm losing my temper on purpose. That's gonna help greatly.
Then why?
Maybe
What did you even try to think about what I'm asking you and why I'm asking you and why I'm keeping this and why you're answering me?
constantly.
Okay,
But like I said, I don't understand you. Perhaps that's my own ignorance getting in the way or my own blind spots. I'm not saying that I don't have them. I'm not perfect. The things I just said, they apply to me as well. But I'm trying to understand what you're saying, but you just keep repeating the same thing over and over again. Maybe try a different approach, which I've told you countless of times already. I have told you many times that I don't understand what you're trying to tell me, and that maybe you should find a different way of saying it. You just keep getting back with exactly the same thing, and it's not going to work, and it only ends up being frustrating. This is how we start talking in circles again.
try
So
to
be a ragabash, be creative, and find a different way to tell me what you're trying to teach me, because I seriously don't see it.
I tried the wolf way and it didn't work. I tried the human way and it didn't work. Don't see any other way. Maybe
If you
you'd be
think there
more.
are only two ways, then maybe you should try and talk to someone else. Really. There are many ways, even amongst humans, and probably amongst wolves and meadows as well. Because every person is unique. Everyone has a different way of explaining things. And sometimes one teacher, like when I was back in high school, we had a mathematics teacher. Brilliant guy. Everybody could see that he was brilliant. But none of his students understood what he was trying to teach them because he couldn't teach. I'm not saying that you can't teach. Not saying that. But that guy couldn't. Then the next year, we had a new teacher. Definitely not the brightest mathematical teacher. I mean, knew his stuff, but not great. Not a genius. Not the next Albert Einstein. But he had a way of being able to translate the mathematics to a way that we understood it. So someone might be more stupid than someone else. Or, well, stupid is not the right word. Might have a lower IQ than someone else.
What's
But
that?
may have, it's how intelligent you are.
Never heard
Smart.
about it.
It's a grading system and it really doesn't matter. Just keep it more smart. Someone might be smarter than someone else, simply lack the possibility of teaching a group of 15-year-olds. And someone may be able to have that skill of very clearly teaching a 15-year-old his stuff, but might not win the next Nobel Prize. Um, might not be a genius. I know you're smart, but maybe your smarts and my smarts just don't see eye to eye. And if you want me to step up, the next time just tell me.
If you're not confident enough in yourself to step up, I'm not gonna speak for you.
Really? You haven't listened?
I listened, and actually, thank you for this, because this is the first story I've heard you say, and you didn't read it off a piece of paper, and I understood what you wanted to say. I'll think of a different way of teaching you. Maybe putting the things I think in big bold letters in front of you is the only way to teach. It's the only way we're gonna see eye to eye.
Perhaps. I don't know. Maybe try and talk to people about it.
A wise guy once told me that the art of the ragabash is to teaching is to teach a lesson without telling whoever you're teaching what that lesson is. That's why you feel like we're talking in circles. If you
Sure.
think if you think I don't care about you, why did I just didn't just go on my way,
I
instead of
didn't say
making
that.
sure you're safe?
I didn't say that. I'm just saying that it's hard to talk with you.
Because you always blow up.
Because you always make me blow up.
And that's my problem?
Um, yeah. Because my solution to it is to not get into an argument with you. But then you get into an argument about me not getting into an argument with you. So, yes, that is exactly your problem.
Okay, maybe it is. I'm trying to say what I'm trying to say. Okay, I'll be straightforward. Okay, I think you should have a bit more guts and speak your mind. I think that if you're certain on a thing, you should defend it in front of me, in front of a lot of people, in front of a lot of people like me. Because I've met some ragabashes in my day, and most of them aren't as nice or as calm as I am. And most of them might outrank you.
And when exactly have I not stepped up my game when I thought it was necessary? Because I can even remember in that mission that two individuals thought I would have to stay outside. That was a challenge right there and then. I stepped inside because I felt that I was the best fit. Maybe a challenge is not an outright challenge all the time. Like I said, I didn't need to be the leader to make a difference.
You,
Not officially.
you are lucky.
Yeah, I know. Garm could have decided to get mad at me. Could
If,
have.
if Garm was born on four legs instead of a two, what you did right there is challenging his
Yeah.
position and his order,
Mm-hmm.
and he would have bitten the hell out of you.
Yes. And then we would have had a fight.
Is that the way you want to show people you're a good leader, but by letting someone else lead and then disobeying them when you see fit?
It, you call it disobeying, I call it intervening.
Just because you did good out there, and you probably saved the mission, and there I said it. Bask in your glory. You saved the mission because you know how to talk better than me or Karam.
It's what I was trying to do.
The fact that you saved the mission doesn't excuse the fact that you disobeyed an order.
And if Garm wants to punish me for it, or would have wanted to do that, I would have accepted that. But he didn't. Don't
Okay,
think I would not have been willing to take the consequences of that action.
okay. If you want to catch up on all the beatings I got, and you didn't get yet, you're going down the right path. I'm trying to show you that most Garo don't see things the way you do. And I'm trying to do that as a friend.
Well, duly noted. And thank you for your advice in this.
But you always get defensive. I make fun of you for being bossy, not because you've got Silverfang blood in you, but because you are bossy. Except, in my opinion, you're bossy when you should be nice, and I've seen that nice part of you, and I like her very much. And when you're supposed to take the initiative, you either hesitate or step back. I make fun of you for being Jacob Raya's cousin because other people will judge you
And
for
trust
that.
me, I will get mad at them as well.
Getting mad doesn't solve the problem. Shouting doesn't solve the problem. Challenging might. That's why I challenged you. But you're not that great of a fighter. And most Garu understand a challenge as a fight.
Well, perhaps I was born as a Garu to make a difference this way, changing, bringing a change.
I'd very much like to see that.
And
But to call a spade, you're still a cub.
I know,
There are more people above you in the nation than underneath you. Think of that. Until you get to make your own rules, you're going to have to play by theirs.
and I do.
Don't seem like it.
Maybe not to you. You can think that. If you feel that I'm disobeying any rules, feel free to go to the den father, to go to the den mother, or even to a philodox and get me punished. If you really feel that that's what I'm doing. As far as I know, I have not broken any rule of the litany, nor any rule of the social etiquette that's completely alien to me.
Okay, I have no idea how human packs work, but I'm guessing disobeying an order is pretty bad for humans too.
Depends. If you're in the military, yeah. However, in some situations, and especially if it works out, being disobedient is not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, well, we are soldiers. You could call this the military. And yes, disobeying an order is bad. The fact that by doing that you did something very good doesn't make it less of a problem. Disobeying orders ended up costing Garu lives.
Well, I will make sure to list it in my story then. Was there anything else?
There's no point anyway.
Try me. I've tried with everything else, why not with this?
'Cause there's no point anymore. And she like turns his face away from you.
Alright, if you feel that way. I'll see you later. And Robin will head towards the training grounds.
I'll before she does that, he's just gonna say, I'll I'll talk to you when I can actually talk to you. to whoever you want to show yourself as.
Robin will just kind of roll her eyes and, yeah, we'll head off to the training grounds.
And Snowflake is gonna head out in the other direction, hoping to find the tail singer.
Yeah, with that, we can end the scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This was another scene for Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York.